I'm the Trubl Zone. Welcome to the NCAA Zonetacular. It's a very, very special event. With me, to my left, probably my right on your screen, would be the Trubl Zone's music director, T Money, representing Georgia. This is the Trubl Zone, and you're in the Zonetacular. All right, since this is the Zonetacular, and of course, as you can tell, T Money wearing the Falcons stuff. He is a Georgia boy.
All the way.
Earlier today, in your precious SEC, the Arkansas Razorbacks came back and barely beat the newest member of the SEC, Texas A&M. Who's going to be at the bottom of the pecking order in the SEC at this point?
Well, you know I'm all about every Georgia team there is. I love the Braves, love the Hawks, love my Georgia Bulldogs, love the Falcons. But
the Braves, who, by the way, choked earlier this week,
well,
putting the Cardinals in against the Phillies today.
We'll talk about that in a minute. But as far as the SEC goes, I mean, I love my Georgia Bulldogs, but it's been a while. You're a better team than your record shows, but you know, I got to keep rooting for them. But as far as, I don't want to say who's going to be at the bottom of the SEC, but Georgia needs to do something quick.
Then who, as somebody who's watched SEC football pretty much your entire life, who do you see the SEC pulling in to even the conference back out after pulling in Texas A&M at the end of the season?
First of all, I'm glad to see that Texas A&M did go to the SEC. I think it's a perfect fit. It brings that Texas market, and it's the Big 12's loss. I'm glad. Texas A&M is a great school. They got a great sports program. They'll be a huge addition. As far as, we know there's going to be a 14th team at least. And I would like to see Missouri, because that would bring another market. Or if not Missouri, I know it's a stretch, but Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, I think, would be a good addition.
I don't think Oklahoma State is a long shot. I really don't. I think Oklahoma is. I think Oklahoma would rather go to the Pac-12, or once they go to the Pac-16, 18, 27, 586, whatever. Because, let's be honest, the most dominant force in the Pac for pretty much since its inception has been USC. And USC can't hold its own against Oklahoma. They can't hold their own against Texas. They can't hold their own against Georgia on their worst day.
You're right. And one thing that you brought up also, when you said Texas, it made me think of this. I predict right now that Texas is going to go independent. I think the Big 12 is going to dissolve. I know this sounds crazy. I don't know for the life of me why that commissioner for the Big 12 hasn't been fired yet. I mean, that great conference is just crumbling to pieces. Everybody's leaving. Something drastic has got to be done. But really, it's the Texas Longhorns' fault. They've been the glory hog. They're not sharing any of the glory, and there's other great teams there. And teams like Texas A&M just got tired of it. Mm-hmm. And they're going to go to a conference that has lots of money and shares the wealth.
Now, this is probably a really stupid question for you, T-Money, but who wins the national championship this year?
Well, you know, I'm going to say it's, and I know a lot of you people are going to hate to hear this, but it's going to be the SEC, and it doesn't matter who else. And I've seen people, every year say, "Oh, they're not going to get it this year," and it's once again the SEC. Bottom line, this year it's going to be the SEC, and I think it's going to be LSU. I think they're going to go undefeated all the way, and they're going to win the national championship.
It honestly wouldn't surprise me to see the national championship game be LSU and Oklahoma. It would not surprise me.
I think that's it. I think you nailed it right there.
And that would probably be the best game we've seen in many years.
By the way, I will say this. The only chance that an SEC team would lose would be Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
But I still think LSU is going to pull it out, undefeated season.
Well, I mean, it's a foregone conclusion that outside of Major League Baseball, there is no Missouri team who's going to do anything. The Rams are horrible. The Chiefs are horrible. The Missouri Tigers are mediocre, like always. The St. Louis Blues in the National Hockey League are going to suck as usual. And I just got back from watching my Missouri State Bears get slaughtered by Northern Iowa 48-7. So that was Big 12 coming in and putting the hammer down on the Missouri Valley Conference without a doubt.
One thing real quick I wanted to point out, you said the Cardinals. I got to admit, my Atlanta Braves, what happened to you? I think I heard a stat somewhere, and I saw it online, that nobody had gone into September 8.5 games ahead for the wild card and then blew it like that. And,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm an Atlanta Braves fan through and through, but come on. The Cardinals are better and more deserving this year. Braves just didn't want it.
Well, there's an atmosphere in Atlanta where it comes to the end of the season and they get a little tickle in the back of their throat. Matty Twice would be another great example.
Speaking of, I got to point something out. He said Matty Twice. He did coin that term first before anybody. Last year, he pointed out to me when they went to the playoffs, even though they had they were beating everybody in the regular season, he said, well, when Matty Twice has his second game, he's going to twice lose in the postseason, and he did. And before the season even started, and I'm not trying to curse the Falcons because I'm rooting for you, but he already is calling him Matty Thrice. So I hope that's not what happens.
Well, I mean, as soon as they lost that first game and they got schooled by the Chicago Bears, who really deceptively are not nearly as good of a team as they look like, I knew at that point that Matt Ryan was still having that thing in the back of his head. That, it's like Peyton Manning needing to get the monkey off his back a few years back. Well, now Matt Ryan's got to get the monkey off his back, and I hope he does it next season because really, after Thrice, I don't know what else I can call him.
I just got to hope that you're wrong on that one. That's all I can do. I just got to hope you're wrong on that one.
One thing I did want to cover was where do you think the problem lies with your Atlanta Falcons?
They need a defense.
Is it psychological? Do they not think they're as good as they actually are?
They need a defense. That's just all there is to it. And psychological, I think, yes. I don't think they see themselves as the big team yet. And their record last year should have proved to them that they can do it, that they have the talent on the team to do it. But I just don't think they see themselves as the Patriots, for example. Love them or hate them, and I can't stand the Cowboys or the Patriots. But when it comes to that postseason time, they know they're stars,
mm-hmm.
and they know they belong. And I just don't think the Falcons think that they belong yet.
I think let me get my thoughts straight here. I think that it is a lot mental in Atlanta. I think Matt Ryan gets ahead of himself in the playoffs. He gets nervous, and I think the only person really on that team that is mature enough and seasoned enough is Tony Gonzalez, who never should have left Kansas City because then we'd actually have somebody that could catch these horrible balls that Matt Castle throws. Here. All right, what is your Super Bowl prediction? Who's going, T-Money? Who's going to go?
We joked, I think, the other day about wouldn't it be neat to see the Detroit Lions be a 0-16 and be a 16-0 this year? And they're doing it, but in reality,
I mean, I'd love to see Detroit and Buffalo. I mean, that
would be great.
That would be the perfect cap off to this whole locked out season where everything's topsy-turvy.
I think Buffalo and New England both look really good right now for the AFC. And I just have to go with Green Bay right now. They're solid, and they did it last year, and they know they can do it, and they've got so much talent on that team. I'd have to go with Green Bay, and probably either Buffalo or New England.
Next season, do you see there being an ACC conference or a Big East? Which one is going to go away?
I think the Big 12 is going to go away first, but I don't think it'll be next year. I think it'll be in 2 years.
In 2 years?
I think Texas will be I think when Oklahoma leaves, and we already know somebody's coming, there's going to be a 14th team at least in the SEC. I kind of hope it's Missouri, and I think it would be a good fit.
But it could also be the U. It could also be University of Florida, Miami.
Yeah.
Who is ACC, if I remember correctly.
As far as the next conference to dissolve, the first one too, I think it'll be the Big 12. And from there, I can't really say yet. It's too hard to see. I think the ACC is up and coming. They're going to be better this year than they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Tech too. Watch them this year.
Georgia Tech does look good. All right, thank you, T Money.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Yep, I'm going to welcome in at this time a friend of mine that I've known since high school, who has some choice words for the ownership and leadership of his beloved Denver Broncos. I welcome in Jerome.
Hi, everybody. First off, I want to start off by thanking my friend here for letting me come on the show. My Broncos. I've been a fan since I was a little kid, since my aunt and uncle live out there. They used to send me jerseys. They used to send me all kinds of things. You guys need to get your head out of your asses. Plain and simple. I know a lot of people don't like Tebow. Let him out there and play. I know you don't like Tebow.
I don't have anything against him personally. I just don't think he has the skill set to be a starter.
Starter or not, the guy needs to get out there and play if he wants to learn how to actually be a quarterback.
He's making too much money to be a backup.
He is. I mean, he really is. I mean, they spent all that money on him, just like the Rams spent all that money on
Sam Bradford.
On Bradford, and he's okay. He's okay. But Broncos, you got to get together. You really do. You guys went and got John Elway to become your vice president over talent. Put him to work. The guy's there. You're wasting money on him, and he ain't doing nothing. You need to get your offensive line straightened out. Your defensive line is actually not that bad, but your offensive line, you got to let your quarterback be able to run the plays. You're not getting anywhere. Come on, guys, get it together. We need to get somewhere. We went three-peat a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Three-peat, and now look at you. You're going to be like an 8-8 team if even that.
It just doesn't seem like the AFC West when both Denver and Kansas City are 0-4.
Kansas City's not. Denver's not 0-4.
But when they're both at the bottom of the pile, it just doesn't seem like the AFC West. AFC West in the 90s was the most competitive division. You couldn't pick from one week to the next who was going to be on top. It was going to be Oakland, San Diego, Denver, or Kansas City.
Yeah, true.
Until it came to the postseason, and then Kansas City always had the Schottenheimer choke.
It's just you guys. You won 3 Super Bowls back to back to back a few years ago. I remember because that's when I became a huge fan.
2.
I thought it was 3. What was it? 3 and 4 years, I believe, something like that.
3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 and 4 years. Still, 3 out of 4 years. That's a 75% that you guys actually got it. Now you can't even get the ball down the field.
And actually, I believe they almost every single one of those Super Bowls they broke the hearts in the AFC Championship game of the Buffalo Bills, who are currently undefeated.
I believe they did. Yeah. I mean, Elway and I can't remember his name for the life of me now. I actually had his jersey. But Elway was an awesome, awesome, awesome talent back then. To have someone in there to be able to do this for the talent, be able to actually discuss them with them and actually be able to hire the talent, you guys need to get to it and actually get it going. Use Elway. Use Tebow. Get a better offensive line. Get out there and actually get some plays going.
Bringing Tebow back, despite the fact that I don't appreciate him as a talent, would coincide with the old school AFC West mentality of run first, pass second.
Yeah.
With him being a running quarterback of the Michael Vick style, his first instinct would be to run first and pass second.
Which
works in Denver.
It does work
because
in Denver.
Of the atmosphere.
I know there's a lot of people that don't really agree with my mindset about how I actually think about football. But running plays are overrated. You always try to go right up the middle, and you know damn well everybody's right there. Mm-hmm. Why go up the middle if you know everyone's there? Go around the side. Toss the ball off the side. Make it look like a running play and just toss it over there. No one's going to expect it.
Well, and the NFL is no longer a runner's league. I mean, when you take into consideration, you got Tom Brady, you've got Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Drew Brees, who are all pocket passing quarterbacks.
They are
damn good at it. Even Denver's current starting quarterback, Kyle Orton, is a pocket passing quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, Kyle Orton, he's a good player. He really is. But
it's hard to make a completion when you're on your
own. I mean, it's with the offensive line that they have, with the money that Denver has, they should be able to afford a good offensive line. But I don't know what happened. I don't know if they need to get down the bottom of the barrel for a couple of years, so that way they get some good talent in there for the draft picks.
Pull a Lions and
pull a Detroit. I mean,
16 season and build back up.
I mean, it's kind of funny. I actually lived up in Michigan for 3.5 years. You remember that? And my ex-father-in-law, the year that the Lions went 0-16, I looked at him and joked and said, "You give it 3 years, Detroit's going to be a team to be reckoned with." Mm-hmm. And he looked at me and said, "Do you think so?" And I was like, "Oh, I know so."
Lo and behold, here they are.
Undefeated. Here they are, undefeated. It's what? 4-0? 3-0?
Well, 3-0. We're in
3-0? I mean...
And then this week I have picked them to win. Again.
Who are they playing this week?
I'd have to look. I don't remember right off the top of my head right now.
T-Money, you know who Detroit's playing this week?
Oh, man, you had to put me on the spot. I can't remember.
Okay, no one can remember.
It's probably somebody they're going to beat. I mean, the only game I remember full force this week is the one that I'm probably going to be taking a nap during, and that is the winless Vikings at the winless Chiefs.
Well, at least somebody's actually going to come out with a win on that one.
I don't know, honestly. I think we may actually see our first 0-0 tie in the history of the NFL, and it'll just be because they went 12 hours of nothing but, okay, first play, fumble, recovery, fumble, recovery, fumble. The first play will last 12 hours because they'll keep fumbling and recovering.
That or the game's going to be like a 96-94 because both lines the offensive line just tears right through the defensive line of the other team.
Yep.
So it's either going to be an extremely high-scoring game where everyone's like, that was actually a really good game because the score was 95-110. Or it's going to be a really crappy game where it's going to be 0-3.
Super Bowl.
Wow. I don't want to say Detroit because they're not ready yet.
Yeah.
I do have to say Green Bay. Green Bay proved it over the last couple of years that they've got the talent. So I'm going to say Green Bay. Wow. Buffalo would be nice. Detroit or Buffalo would be nice.
Well, Detroit is NFC along with them.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I mean, they could, either team.
I'd love to see them. I'd love to see both those teams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Have a 3-way game. That'd be awesome.
No, I mean just Detroit versus Buffalo. That's it. Let them both go 16-0 and do it that way.
There you go.
Originally, at the beginning of the season, I picked Green Bay and the New York Jets. Mark Sanchez, as usual, is no longer between the wind beneath my wings. I'm actually going to change it. I think it's either going to be Buffalo or Oakland representing the AFC.
You think Oakland?
I think Oakland. I think it's very possible it would be either them or the Bills.
Yeah, possibility. I could see that. The team I'd really like to see up there would be Denver, but
not unless there's a series of horrible instances of swine flu throughout the AFC.
Yeah, I mean, just they don't. They've got the talent, or except the offensive line.
Denver goes to the Super Bowl when they beat the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, yeah, I got to say Bills, and possibly the Detroit.
What
Did,
about the
Green Bay.
Chargers?
Did somebody
yeah.
say something about Chargers?
I've said it for 2 seasons now that I've had this show. The San Diego Chargers will not go to or win a Super Bowl as long as Norv Turner is the head coach. Sorry, T-Money, but neither your Chargers nor your Falcons are going to be worth a crap in the pro season. You've got 2 horrible nicknames for two quarterbacks in Matty Twice and Jamie Crimea Rivers.
You know, we actually have some high school football teams that could probably compare to the Chargers or even the Kansas City Chiefs, if that matter.
Oh, I'm pretty sure that if the little tiny town in Missouri of Clever, which has no football team, only a baseball team, just picked up a bunch of farm boys that had never thrown a football in their life, they could probably beat the Kansas City Chiefs and have fewer penalties.
Fewer penalties. I have to agree with that one. Yeah.
I don't think anybody can have as many penalties as Kansas City does. Holding. Next play. Holding. Next play. Holding. So, Jerome, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me on the show. Again, go Broncos. Pull your heads out of your ass. It gets to get done.
My 4th and goal for this Zonetacular is very, very simple. Once the college football conference realignments are all said and done, there will not be super conferences. Everybody can talk about super conferences all they want. But yes, you will have the SEC, you will have the Pac-16, you will have the Big Ten and their criminal activity. But the thing is, you will still have conferences like the Missouri Valley Conference, the small home conferences that are the backbone of college football. These conferences aren't going away. And the more the major media networks and the large media outlets and the large populated areas such as Los Angeles with USC, New York City, Florida with University of Florida, Miami, keep shoving these storied franchises down our throats, the more popular conferences like the Missouri Valley Conference are going to be. I'm the Trubl Zone. Thank you for tuning in to the NCAA Zonetacular. Zone out!